San Antonio!
You almost forgot to do your thing.
I almost
San
forgot.
Antonio? This is All Things San Antonio podcast. I'm Ken Carter, and that's
Brad Burns.
I switched it up on him. He didn't.
I was a little thrown off.
We get that's the thing is we get into our comfort zones and we like I sit in this chair every single time. You sit in that chair every single time. You do change up your shirts. I always wear one of my work kind. Be hard.
I tried to. I was actually rummaging through their shirts that they have on the pile over there.
Oh yeah.
Trying to look for a T-shirt to wear, but they were all like size small and medium, so I need a few years to fit into that.
Well, I actually brought the shirt. I had a client, I had an appointment doing some showings this morning and dressed up a little bit nicer and everything. I even combed my hair today, which...
I had a listing appointment today, so that's why I normally don't wear button-ups and all that all the time. But I had a listing appointment. They're buying and selling, so I was like, let me dress up a little bit.
Do you dress up? You don't dress up for everyone. It's funny because sometimes I get dressed up for a listing appointment, and it doesn't even matter. It's more my mood of the day. It doesn't even matter like the value of the home or anything like that. It's just like it really is like what do I feel like wearing? Sometimes
I like dressing up. So like sometimes I'll wear a suit jacket and kind of dress up, and then sometimes I'll be t-shirt and whatever.
When Zane and Avery got married, I lost a little bit of weight and got a nice suit. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna wear this maybe once every couple weeks. Wear a suit to the office and everything like that. That doesn't fit anymore.
You know what I was thinking about doing?
I got married in November. It doesn't fit.
I got motivation from somebody. I was thinking about rolling out like Blazer Mondays.
Yeah.
And just sometimes it feels good just to dress up. Like I think you get a different energy.
Every time you know what's funny? I get that urge to start like dressing nice and putting on a jacket and stuff like that. But the problem is I always get that urge kind of going into the summer, and then I'm like, God, it's way too hot to be wearing a jacket and a long sleeve shirt. Like this is the last month that like you're wearing long sleeve. Like this is the last month that long sleeve is really.
I don't know. I was wearing a golf polo on Friday, showing houses. I was getting a pretty good little sweat going on.
It's
like especially like in my elbows, like you know what I mean, where your arms creased up and it kind of gets rolling.
Yeah.
I was like, oh man, I'm kind of wet.
It's funny. We had two back-to-back winters where it was just like ice and snow, which we hadn't had in decades, and now we went straight to a mile. And I don't know if everybody remembers, but like one of our first podcasts, I actually talked about my grandfather and his kind of way to determine what the weather's going to be like for the rest of the year. And so like January 1st kind of represents January 2nd, February and stuff like that. And so far after January and February and March, it's been right on track because it was very mild at the beginning of January. And I think we're going to have a nice warm summertime.
Yeah, I'm kind of upset. I bought a jacket, like a warmer jacket, because my other one was too big because I lost weight. And then it wasn't cold enough to wear it. I wear it one day.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like I'd rather be cold than hot. And so like putting on extra layers and things like that.
I'm excited to go to Denver at the end of the month for a real estate conference. Last time I was in Denver for that conference was a few years ago, and it was like 13 degrees. I don't think it's going to be that cold this time. I've been checking the weather. But, yeah, it was cold. Like, I'm not used to Colorado cold.
The Denver would be fun. There's I think it's called the 16th Street Mall area. Have you been like?
No, I haven't.
It's just down there. It's kind of their like nice little shopping area, kind of like their Pearl, except where I feel like our areas of that attract tours and things like that. We have more local shops and things and boutiques and things like that. Theirs is like you're gonna have your big Macy's and all those kind of things. It's more of a mall.
I'm trying to figure out if it's still going to be cloudy because I actually fly in 4/21.
It's
So I was like, man,
I think
it's going to be interesting.
Dude, it's been cloudy since 2012. Whenever all that it changed.
Yeah, but rolling on, you see David Robinson?
Yes, I did. He's been inducted into the Texas Business Hall of Fame, which I saw that and it said it was the second one, and I kind of thought I might have an idea who the second professional athlete. Let me clarify. So David Robinson, the second professional athlete to be inducted into the Texas Business Hall of Fame. You've already looked, I'm sure. Have you looked at who the other one is? Now for sure you looked.
No, I
Roger Staubach.
Oh, I could see that.
Do you know where? And both of them, do you know how they've made a lot of their money from where they've where they've done business at?
In the hood,
Real estate.
real estate.
Real estate, and well, for David Robinson, it's kind of a mix because he's also he's very much a philanthropist, right? He's raised tons of money. He's raised, I think I read it was like $40 million that he's raised for the Carver Academy, which is now part of the IDEA school, charter school system and everything like that, which is a great school system. The kind of nice little theater. When my little ones were, my oldest daughters were little, they used to do dance things over there. But he's done that. And then he's, I think, what was it, with the Admiral Capital, they've deployed $700 million in real estate holdings and things like that, and it's built up to where it's more valued at over $3 billion. So he's turned $700 million into $3 billion, and this is just the business side. He gives money away. Like he was, I remember back when. He was doing stuff with the Spurs. Even after he was retired with the Spurs, him and the Spurs were partnering for different charitable things like that. So he's always been a big proponent of it, and he's a great steward of San Antonio.
He's one of my favorite people.
He's been great. He's great.
It's funny. I love the story of why Shaq hated the Spurs so much. So like back in the day, Shaq used to be very vocal about how much he hated the Spurs.
Yep.
And he said it was because David Robinson was just such a nice guy. So he made up this whole story about like how he didn't sign an autograph and like do that. And that's why he hated him so much, because Shaq is from San Antonio or lived in San Antonio when he was a kid.
Speaking of which, I saw a stupid video on TikTok, and it was talking about the new basketball players from New Jersey. And Shaquille O'Neal was born. He's from New Jersey, but that irritated him because I look at San Antonio like Shaq. He's a San Antonio kid. He graduated from Cole High School.
Yeah, but I think he just did high school here. I don't know how long he was
he's
here.
an Army brat. His dad was in the Army.
Yeah, so I think he was in Germany and things like that. I listened to his book a while back, and he kind of bounced around a little bit. But he's from actually the hood in New Jersey. And I believe that's his stepdad.
The one in the Army is his. Yeah, I quote unquote stepdad, someone who's raised children.
There's no such thing as step.
It's just dad. That's his dad. Sarge is he calls him Sarge's dad.
Yeah,
and it's funny. It's those stories that you hear about him as he's developing. When he first broke a backboard, he had gone up for an easy layup kind of thing, and his dad was he goes, "You put it down." He goes, "Don't just go up there." And next thing you know, is breaking backboards.
Yeah, he said something along the lines of he was trying to do the dribbles and
do
all that, and his dad took him outside and set him straight.
That's right.
But yeah, it's just cool to see how much David Robinson has impacted. Mm-hmm. I get super excited for the Spurs players that were here forever and still invest into the community and are still active in the community. So David Robinson, Tim Duncan, Ginobili is always out and about here in San Antonio. I think Tony Parker's moved off. He's selling his house now. I don't think Tony Parker was ever super into San Antonio.
He was just close to him and Tim were close.
He was close to the big, or he was in the big three, but I don't think he had the connection to San Antonio like the rest of them.
His Ava Longoria, his wife, she was more connected to San Antonio through being from Corpus Christi and stuff like that.
Yeah, and maybe that's why people aren't so crazy about Tony, because apparently Tony had a big part to play in why Kawhi ended up staying, and then he cheated on Eva Longoria, and then all that good stuff.
I'm not up on the tee. We need to have a Real Housewives of San Antonio. Didn't they try to do that? I think I might have heard something where they were trying to do something like that. I don't know.
I wouldn't doubt it.
No, you say that talking about giving back and everything like that. I hear rumors and I see on TikTok and this and that, that Wemby's not happy about this or that. Man, when you see the local news and stuff and what's going on locally, and you see how Tim has bringing him under his wing and things like that, and working with him and all the things. I don't believe those rumors. I'm excited for it. You don't see a lot of basketball clubs, teams that have their past players that are so active, not only in the community but in the team itself and everything. It makes San Antonio unique. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. All right. I don't know. Because I know the Lakers. I mean, they still got a bunch of the people around. You know, Magic's over there. I think he's the GM
He's
of it
owner
now.
now. Like it's the.
Yeah,
I think David has some ownership in
I'm
the Spurs
sure.
too. Yeah.
yeah. But I'm just hoping Pop don't scare Wemby away. Because you know, Pop can kind of get out there sometimes. I really did not like I'm going to say this straight up. I did not like when Pop told the crowd to quiet down for booing Kawhi. Kawhi hurt us, and he needs to know.
I get that, but I'm different. I'm not for booing in general. Like it takes a lot for me to boo someone.
Boo to this man.
Boo. I don't know. It's so disrespectful. Like, and that's the purpose.
But Kawhi
of it.
was disrespectful. Like, I mean, he hurt us.
He hurt your feelings. He got in your feels.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I've never recovered.
Well, to help you recover, I've got news about a new restaurant. Actually, I'm excited about it. I'm excited about this restaurant that's kind of reinventing itself, and the reason is because of the owner, Mike Nguyen. He has had Noodle Tree, which is a ramen place, of Asian fusion kind of place. It's over off UTSA Boulevard, right there by Bar Shop. Is that Bar Shop? Bar Shop. There's some. You've got there's a food truck court thing over there, which is really good. But this Noodle Tree. This is a guy that's gone through multiple bouts of cancer and had to shut down the restaurant and try to keep it open. He tried to do a limited menu. When COVID came out and everybody was calling it the China flu and this and that, his restaurant was the one that was graffitied with it, with racial slurs and stuff like that. He's gone, but he keeps on moving forward, keeps his head up. He makes amazing food. It's unfortunate that he's not going to be doing the ramen anymore because I feel like it's the best ramen in San Antonio. But I'm really excited about what he's turning it into. Less so about the evening. It is what it is, but more so about the morning. In the evening, it's going to be a yakitori type restaurant where they're just doing the skewers and things like that. Again, with the kind of a Korean and Japanese kind of influence, everything like that. But the morning is going to be breakfast sandwiches, Korean influenced breakfast sandwiches. And I love a breakfast sandwich. There's nothing better to me than a breakfast sandwich, which is also the same thing as a taco, but with a different type of bread.
Yeah, it's the white people taco.
It's the white people taco. But man, it's the a sausage, egg, and cheese croissant is one of my favorite things in the world.
You know what one of my favorite things is? A chicken biscuit. Which is a breakfast sandwich.
It's a breakfast sandwich.
But with an over easy or over medium egg to where you cut it and it kind of just runs out.
There's nothing better than the runny yellow and using something to sop it up and it's amazing. I'm excited about this place. It's gonna this guy has never disappointed Mike Nguyen on any of his food that I've ever seen him produce, and so this is gonna be I think it's going to be a treat.
And if I had to put my money on it, he's not going to disappoint this time either.
Not at all, no. So look out. It's supposed to be opening up at the end of April. So by the time this episode comes out, it may already be open. But it's right there on UTSA Boulevard. I highly recommend. And we had this conversation. He's like, we really need to start talk about places that we've actually been to. Mm-hmm. I felt, and I put this down. I wanted to talk about this just because I've had his other food. I've got no doubt. So send him love. I'd love to, just anybody and everybody, just go check out this restaurant and pack it.
Yeah, I think that's different. I think that's definitely a place. Yeah.
Days I'm not there. I want to go try it.
Nah, and if you can't find it, Google it.
Yeah. And it's awesome. It's a great, there's so much about this, and I start rambling now, but with Emma and Zane and stuff like that at UTSA, going to Noodle Tree to his restaurant, just to go have dinner or lunch with them or something like that while they're at school and stuff like that. It was it was a place that we went to a lot. So it has really good memories for me. And so I'm going to miss the ramen, but check it out.
Pretty sentimental, huh?
Yeah.
But I think that kind of just goes right in. So, it's the Korean style food. I think San Antonio is starting to get a real big Korean influence in it. My wife's always watching the K-dramas, and then there's the K-pop stuff, and people are all into the anime and kind of that whole.
The anime's Japanese though.
Yeah,
isn't it? I'm looking at our millennial over here.
But from what I've seen,
not millennial, right? Z, yeah.
People that are into that.
He was offended I said millennial.
Was he?
A little bit. Go Birds.
Yeah.
There we go.
The boomers are always trying to offend people.
I'm no boomer. My parents are boomers. Actually with millennials right now, we just totally changed the subject. They're representing 38% of the market right now in real estate.
Millennials?
Millennials.
Yeah,
by
they're
far.
in the buying age.
They're in the great
Buying and selling,
great buying.
upsizing, downsizing. So if you think about the market in the millennials, they're usually transitioning up, down, whichever way. So for every millennial in that, there's 2 transactions.
Mm-hmm.
So that increases the market if you're looking at percentages that wise too.
Yeah. Hopefully the market keeps moving forward.
And speaking of those over easy eggs, we went to Mr. Juicy the other day.
Oh man.
Oh my gosh, Mr. Juicy is so good. And I got a burger with an egg on it. Man.
Burgers with eggs are the best.
I was trying to go back the next day, but my wife just wasn't having it. I have like an addictive personality, so if I find something that I really like, I want it every day until I don't like it anymore.
I do that with I make a really good self-proclaimed great Italian like sub sandwich, everything like that. And when I decide to go get everything that's going to go into making it, I always make enough that I end up having it for like 3 days in a row. But it's my favorite thing. So
Yeah.
I'm really, really.
So you think you make the best one, or?
I think I make the one that I like the best. Food is we talked about this before. It's so specific to the person that I will not say I don't think there is a best one.
My biggest complaint with food is when people try to be too extra with it. So like we went somewhere and had like biscuits and gravy, like that's kind of a southern staple. And they started like adding rosemary and like all this other stuff in there. It's like, man, just give us that plain old like gravy with the grease.
Yeah.
And you don't need to add all that extra stuff.
That was my staple in college.
Have you been to Bobby's Cafe?
Bobby's Cafe?
It's on the south side off of Flores Street.
Mm-mm.
Man, their social media game has really been stepping up. I've been seeing them. But they sell this thing. What's the name of it? I don't remember the name of it. But it's like a biscuit. So it's a biscuit with an egg, chicken or chicken fried chicken or chicken fried steak, hash browns, another biscuit on top, covered in gravy with cheese. Like 2 or 3 people could eat off of that. Man, it's just so good.
That sounds good. There's nothing. I don't make biscuits and gravy a lot and everything. I eat a lot of like breakfast sausage, and every single time I make like fried their sausage, I just look at that grease and it's like, oh man, we can make some gravy right now.
Yeah. Throw some flour in that bad boy.
There you go. A little milk, a little salt, a little pepper, a lot of pepper.
So speaking of the Spurs, I know this is something we've covered a whole lot on this show. Is the Spurs moving back downtown? So the Institute of Texan Cultures is going to be getting moved to make room for it.
Yep.
Room for the arena.
UTSA has decided to shutter the Institute of Texan Culture, and they're opening up. They're going to create a museum instead to still kind of focus on the same thing and still celebrate our history. But it's you can see the gears moving behind the scenes.
Oh, yeah.
To make it happen.
And then I want to say it was HEB and Red McCombs just donated a bunch of money to make a basketball court down in Hemisphere area.
Mm-hmm. Well, the Yanaguana Gardens, the kid playground just celebrated its first year, and I think we talked about it, but that place down that little park that they've created downtown, all of that, I'm really excited. Here's the problem. Here's what I'm concerned about, because I saw that there is some plans. I don't know. I think it's I want to say Jacksonville, Florida, because I don't know. They keep trying to come into our little area. They've got the Tiger Woods putt-putt thing. They want to do a big like Ferris wheel kind of thing downtown. Every city that I've seen that has put a Ferris wheel it's just like the worst experience for tourists ever. Like it's like, what are you gonna do? You go up there and you kind of see out over the city and stuff like that. But it's like it's overpriced. It's not a fun ride. I don't want to see us turn into where we're just like that kind of an attraction type thing where it's I'm trying to think of the right word for it, where it's
I don't know
It's
where
just
they would
cheesy.
squeeze it.
I don't know. It's the
Especially with the arena coming down here, they got to figure out parking. They got to figure all of that out, which I'm sure people probably park at the Alamo Dome and walk across the bridge to get there for a lot of it.
I parked over there to walk across the Alamo Dome for many years.
So, I mean, they got to figure out the parking. They have to figure out that. They'll probably, I would assume if they're going to build an arena down there, the federal courthouse is going to move. And some of those things down there are probably going to move as well. If I just had to guess. So, we have the round federal courthouse.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, they're going to have to figure out parking. They're going to have to figure all of that out. I just don't know where they're going to squeeze a Ferris wheel in there as well.
Yeah. I don't know.
But then again, you talk about non-fun rides.
Exactly.
How many people go ride the riverboats every day?
They're packed. Have you ever? I mean, they're.
Yeah. I've been trying to take the kids.
Sure, I thought you were countering. I thought you were in support of me. It's like, no, you're making the opposite of point. I get it now. Yeah, they're packed. But I think that's different because they're sitting there telling you about the city and.
They might have some voice guided.
And it's on the river. Like, I don't know. I just got a huge opposition to it.
Yeah.
We'll see what. I'm sure it's.
Ken just hates Ferris wheels and fun.
I hate Ferris wheels because they're not fun. Like, are you like?
They're always a little sketch.
They are. It's like we went to a volleyball tournament down in Atlanta, and they had one, and it was like the air right there where it was downtown. It was right by Centennial Park, where like they had the park for the 1996 Olympics, and they've got this big Ferris wheel. And all it is like selling daiquiris and booze and stuff like that, and to get on there with a funnel cake. And it's like, what does that have to do with who San Antonio is? That's my point. It's like the boats on the Riverwalk and everything. They're part of San Antonio. The Riverwalk's part of San Antonio. A Ferris wheel in downtown San Antonio is not a part of San Antonio.
Not yet.
Neither was a tower. The Tower of Americas, right?
I mean, it could be. I mean, it is what it is. I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm not for it nor against it. I mean, I'm probably not going to go down there and ride it.
What San Antonioan is?
Yeah, I mean, what San Antonian hangs out on the Riverwalk very often. Only when there's tourists for the most part.
Well,
family coming in.
That's a whole nother issue. There's an article in the Business Journal about that where they are having some serious conversations about how do we attract more people back to the river, because with the Pearl and everything, like you've got such great things that San Antonians are going to go to rather than go down to the Riverwalk, like at Botica at the Pearl, which is a Japanese South American fusion kind of restaurant. Amazing. The yakisoba noodles and everything with their braised beef rib is just like ridiculous. But they're doing a tasting menu, a 3-course tasting menu, and you can choose either beef or not beef. You can either choose meat, seafood, or vegetarian. You got 3 options, and they're doing this tasting menu blindfolded. So you sit with blindfold on, and you eat your entire meal without being able to see your plate, see the food, anything like that. You don't know what it's going to look like. You don't know what it looks like, and experience the food. And it's like. So you're not going to get that on a Riverwalk.
No, that's pretty cool. But
it's interesting. Hey,
I have trust issues. I'm not going to no restaurant sitting there blindfolded.
The guy that has trust issues says, when I'm showing, we had a training today. And Brad was like, okay, when I'm showing a house and everything, I always have them go in first because I just don't like people behind me.
Yeah. So same thing. When I'm in a restaurant, I try to sit like with my back to the wall, like.
And you don't want to be blindfolded in the middle of your dinner.
I don't. Like, if I'm paying for it, I better be able to see it, too. You know what I mean?
But you know what? That's the thing. Is so, I mean, it's totally different. It's the similar, but totally different. Like, so with COVID, lost the taste, smell, stuff like that. Food is totally different, right? Of course, most of our taste comes from our smell, so that's a drastic reason. But also, we see a lot. We start enjoying the food with our eyes before we even taste it.
Or we start judging it and say, I don't like that already.
Yeah, and you could have biscuits and gravy, like aesthetically looks like crap, but it's really, really good. And like now you have this blindfold experience. You go into it, you don't know what the texture is going to be. You don't know what the taste is going to be. You don't know. I mean, it could be any.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty cool.
I don't know. I'd be pretty nervous. I mean, you can go on the Ferris wheel blindfolded as well, Ken.
You might as well stay on the bottom rung.
Yeah.
Just kind of rock at the bottom.
Uh-huh.
go.
Put you in a rocking chair and charge you
You
anyways.
can go, wee.
Yeah. Well, that's crazy. So basketball season's coming to an end. Hopefully, we can get a pretty good draft pick. And
I'm curious at how we get with the lottery with how we tank the season on purpose. I think we did it on purpose. So just so we can get a good draft pick.
it was a rough season.
It's reminiscent of years in the past, but the out of the ashes, the phoenix rises, right? So like the when we won our championships, the years before that were pretty dismal as well. And then so it's all in search of going in the right direction. The sort of like the right direction going on the west side right now. Like we've talked about development and real estate development. Brooks Army Base is wrapping up in their what's called their Water's Edge. They've got some
Brooks City Base.
Yes, they've got Class A, like the top of the line, like office space and things like that, going in that they're about to open up. And there's another developer that's just bought the Colonnade, which is pretty cool, the retail spot to really start revitalizing that a little bit more and everything. And the thing about it is, it's great to see the West Side developing. There's a lot like that's not too far from the hospital that my daughter's working at. I mean, that's not too far. It's down there off 410. You've got Southerly has restaurants. You've got a lot of development going on down there. So it's really cool to see that development happening. But I think what's great about it for San Antonio is it kind of counteracts. I saw a tweet. There's a Twitter account, an X account that I follow called Unusual Wells. And if you have you ever heard of this person?
I haven't.
Oh, Unusual Wells is the best in the world. In that he tracks everything. Specifically, Nancy Pelosi's trading. So he's made his bones, if you will, by tracking the trading of Congress, which it's funny because like Warren Buffett is thought to be or known to be or considered the greatest investor of our lifetime that's ever been, and he has perennially has about a 20% growth year over year for all of his holdings and things, which is awesome. He's an expert. Nancy Pelosi has like 22%. Another congressman has like 28%. They all do better than Warren Buffett, which is great. So that's who Unusual Wells is. But one of the things he said specifically, he goes, there was a leaked document that showed that Amazon is expecting to save $1.3 billion by slashing office vacancy and terminating leases early. In the different places that like San Francisco and Austin or this and that, and places that Amazon is, they're terminating their leases early, paying the fees and everything, and they're still going to save like $1.3 billion. And I say that to counteract what we're talking about San Antonio, where we got office space opening up and people moving in and people investing in San Antonio. And so I just think it's another positive check on San Antonio as where we're progressing and where we're moving forward to.
Yeah, I think so too. I'm super excited about the Water's Edge on City Base. It's actually not the west side; it's actually the southeast side. But super excited for that.
Of course, it's kind of west side. It's working its west side.
No, it's southeast. But I'm excited for the City Base area because it's continuing to grow. So right there off of Military and Highway 37.
Kind of growing westward.
So right there off Military and 37, of course, you said they had the Water's Edge, Class A office buildings opening up. There's tons of restaurants coming in.
The area, all of their Southwest Military, so it's amazing.
So there's tons of restaurants coming in. There's actually an Incarnate Word part of their colleges down there. There's a park where you can walk around the Water's Edge.
Yep.
They have pretty much anything you can think of: movie theater, Starbucks, Dutch Bros. All the coffee shops are opening up.
They got new home like KB Homes has got quite a few things over there.
Yeah.
Lennar's got some things.
I'm talking
over
like
there.
right in the immediate area, and they actually have some like the modern 3-story houses they're selling down there. They're building a community that's just for rent in there.
We were just talking about doing some development with those type of buildings, and it's in the Harvard Place area.
So they're doing a lot of exciting stuff down there that I think is going to really continue to push the south side to grow, or southeast side to grow. I was actually showing some houses down there this weekend, and our clients were looking like $350. They were able to find something like 2,500 square feet, super nice, like 18-foot ceilings, and it's just crazy.
18 foot. Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy what they're able to get down there for that price. $16,000 in closing cost incentives, and
I think that's the best price. You're getting the most bang for your buck right now at 2,500 square feet and above. Like your price per square foot, whatever the area, you're getting really. That's what I showed this morning. It was like 2,600 square foot over off Knoll Creek, similar to over by Madison.
yeah,
The I think it's like 360, something like that, 2,600 square feet. And this is an out of town client. And the first thing they asked, because they were also looking at that homes in Chavano Park and Stone Oak, and they're just kind of learning the areas and stuff like that. And they're like, "What's the difference?" I said, "It's just the area. It's like this is a great area that like it's just not getting the attention that Stone Oak is getting. That has it's. I look at it. It's like it's almost like that. It's the shirt that has the polo little emblem on it compared to the shirt that doesn't. But it looks it's made by the same people.
yeah.
And it's just the exact same house, everything like this, and you can save $100,000 by buying here.
It's definitely like there's tons of options out there.
Yeah.
That's kind of just getting into the real estate side of it.
Yeah. But that's it for
Cool.
today.
See y'all later. Do us a favor, hit that like and subscribe button. We'll catch y'all on the next episode. See y'all later.
See you later.